वैसे भी live नहीं है, tension नहीं.
Even if it was live, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I know that. Care a damn. So, I shouldn't be saying the name actually.
The man himself.
The man himself.
Nah, these guys.
The India's number one coach.
These guys are too. These guys are too polite. You know, these guys are way too polite. You know, no, they're too kind. They're too kind.
So, I know Harry. I don't want to actually, start the story with that. I know Harry and all that. Yeah, Paji hai. I know him well. He's India's number one coach. We already seen some testimonials. Some results. But I was inquisitive. Actually, I pinged him this morning, and I was like, "Do you have some time after testimonials?" He said yes. Yeah. His flight is at 9. So I said, let me.
So we are lucky today.
Yeah, we are lucky.
Oh, no,
we are blessed.
That's you guys are too kind.
Sharing this kind of podium,
No,
with the legend himself.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm a pretty simple guy.
So, I can say that, whoever I am right now today is because of this man.
He's too. That's not entirely true.
Yeah.
He's very talented. I've worked with a lot of people over the years. I've known a lot of people over the years, but. I'm a big fan of proficiency. I'm a big fan of people who are very efficient in whatever they do. And when it comes to efficiency, nobody can beat this man. A task that would take somebody to do it in 4 hours, he would do it in an hour. If it takes somebody an hour to do, he can do it in 15 minutes. So when it comes to speed, it's crazy. It's awesome, and his knowledge in what he does is second to none. So the respect is mutual.
Now I guess it's my interview. I should be interviewing him, But thank you for all the words. I'm quite humbled right now, quite emotional. So, Harry, you have been conducting these kind of workshops across India. Even in Australia, you might have tried already. So, is there any key difference between when it comes to knowledge between, different set of people, from Australia, from India? That's my first question actually to you.
Not really. I think a lot of it is it's a very individual trait. Gathering knowledge and the sources that you use, it's a very individual. I think a lot of it is to do with two things. I think one is your education matters a lot.
Right.
If you had good education. That does make a difference once you've done a couple of degrees. Then the way you look at data, the way you look at the information that's presented to you, look at it in a very critical manner. That makes a difference. And then a lot of it is your worldly experiences as well.
Right.
I have to be fair to other people also. I've been doing this thing for 25 years, 20 years. So that gives a lot of experience. When you have that much experience under your belt, it's... you view things very differently. You're always a little critical. You're always a little skeptical. You always cross-check things. So it's, I think one thing that is difference between India and probably Western countries is there's a lot less idealism. Like say, for instance, like whereas in India, if they're a fan of yours, pardon me, they idolize you. A lot of times, that's a great thing. It's a humbling because it happens to me as well. So I can't just completely dismiss it. However, the downside of that is that they end up following a lot of people blindly, and they blindly idolize people who they might come across as experts, but they aren't really the experts.
Right.
So besides that, I think the knowledge is there's some exceptionally knowledgeable, intelligent guys even in India. I think in fitness sector, it's coming up at the moment. But if we move out of the fitness sector, if we go into the finance sector or the IT sector or media and entertainment, we have some very, very educated, very highly intelligent people.
Right.
But the fitness industry is just in its infancy stages. It's only 10, 15 years old. So it's going to take a little bit of time to change the dogmas that people have and the indoctrination they've had from certain school of thoughts. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think we're heading the right direction.
Right, absolutely. I've seen, these kind of workshops, these sort of courses. I've already grown up in India. People used to think otherwise, that fit industry, it is booming, but probably, people have noticed that it's booming at a very good speed. But yes, there is some gap. There are some differences, which people like Harry, they are already feeling it right now. So, I advise if you have not been to any of his courses, I do recommend, just try it once and then you'll be hooked, So.
Hey, look, I try to be as as honest and as factual as I can in my workshops, and that's always the objective is to dispel all the myths. And I've known Harsh for quite a while as well, and she would know as well. So I try to hang out with good, successful, intelligent people. Hence you, hence her. So it makes it, it's you are who you hang out with. So I try to impart whatever factual information that I have, or fact-based knowledge or fact-based information, not just saying whatever sort of pleases or suits my ideologies. It's not about that. It's about fact-based information.
And I have a point on that. He just mentioned that blind following. So after a certain time, that particular person who you would be following, he will actually give you words which they want to listen. The audience want to listen. So he'll be completely changed. But this man here, if he's blunt, he's blunt. He will say, you don't have genetics. You don't have genetics. I mean, you probably... That's a fact, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to...
You can actually make out from his Instagram post when you see
him. No, look, I'm not here to... I'm not here to to lie or mislead and waste anyone's time. I mean, because these things, bodybuilding costs money, and if you don't have the genetics, I'm not going to sort of take it.
Nowadays, a lot of coaches are doing that, that wherein, they mislead people like, okay, genetics nahi hai, then also they will try a lot of things and they will try to work it out and, actually destroy their body.
Yeah, and it actually, hampers their psychological, I'll say, because, after one or two competitions when they don't reach the level they want to, they'll be like, they'll be stressed and they'll be demotivated. And then if somebody shows a limelight to them like him, probably, uddhar ho jayega.
I think the key is, the important thing is, you have to be true to yourself, have some ethics, have some morals, do the right thing, because money doesn't grow on trees, So when somebody comes to you and they're paying you a good amount of money, you have to respect that, you have to appreciate that, because see, I'm not cheap, and a lot of the coaches aren't cheap either. They charge a lot of money, and often when people are paying this money, it's their last bit of saving. They're often selling their wife's jewelry or their mother's jewelry, or they're taking out the loans, and it's not cheap. And then to take advantage of that person in that situation, I think is highly unethical, and I think that's what But that's like with any industry. I think that's where it's a buyer beware. So the onus is on the buyer as well. But when you're young and you're blinded by the starry lights and you see that big stage, shining stage, and you want to get up there, you don't do your due diligence, and you learn it the hard way sometimes. And that's how it is, So
since it's a Women's International Day, I'll pass on the mic to Harsha. If you want to ask Harry any specific question regarding female fitness or anything, because you are a fitness trainer yourself, and so over to you. Yeah, sure. Sorry for that. We'll probably cut it in the edit.
Oh, we can edit that. That's okay. So we can edit it.
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank Harry sir for inviting me and making me really, it's a great honor to be here with him standing. And I'm myself a nutritionist and plus a fitness influencer. I just want to, ask Harry sir today. Basically, women, the people that I come across, the women that I come across, they basically, face this weight loss problem. Now, weight loss problem, people, it's a very basic thing. I get a lot of clients wherein, I want result in like in a month, I need to lose 5 kgs, keto karaya, paleo karaya, intermittent fasting karaya. Then there is a plateau hit, there is a stagnancy. Then, there are people will come and they will say, "Arey nahi, 5 kilo kam nahi hua to phir nutrition change kar do. This nutritionist is not good." So sometimes people say, calorie deficit is something that works. Sometimes people say that insulin resistance is something that works. So do fasting. So what exactly, sir, like you want to, tell women out there, like what kind of patience they should have and what kind of consistency they should follow, what kind of diet they should follow, so that it's like a kind of a lifestyle that they can maintain throughout the life, so there is no yo-yo effect, and it's not the nutritionist fault somewhere that, they have to be patient and do the right thing.
I think that's a great question. There's few things I want to add to that. First thing is, You have to keep things in perspective. That's the number one thing. As a professional, what I try to teach my clients, I tell them, keep things in perspective. Number one, the weight that you're trying to lose, the 10 kilos, the 20 kilos, the 25 kilos, it didn't come on in 4 weeks. It didn't come on in 4 months. It didn't come on in 4 years. It's this 20 kilos has taken years to come on. So it's going to take a bit of time to come on. And also remember, the faster you will lose weight, the higher the chances of your skin sagging as well.
Absolutely.
So the key thing to understand is, if you are losing 1 to 2 kilos a year, okay, if you lose 2 kilos, that is 24 kilos in a year. Right. Even if you lose a kilo a month, 12 kilos is a lot of weight. In 2 years, it's 24 kilos. Yeah, sure. You've had this motivation, a New Year's come around, or your niece is getting married in 6 months' time. I understand all those things. Yeah. However, rather than waiting for an occasion, or your engagement or your wedding or whatever else is, then maybe you should start now. And just look at losing a kilo to 2 kilos. Even if you lose a kilo a month and you lose 12 kilos, doesn't matter what your weight is. You lose 12 kilos, you're going to look visually different. You're going to look, your friends are going to notice, your family is going to notice, you're going to feel amazing, and those results are going to be sustainable. When you lose a lot of weight in a very short period of time, what happens is, you've deprived yourself, you've cut a lot of the foods out.
Yeah, so the cravings are higher.
It's not sustainable. You can't sustain that extreme diet or lifestyle. That's one. Now, when it comes to all the different diet ideologies and diet protocols, all the diets will work. There are a few basic caveats, few basic key principles. Once those principles are taken care of, every diet will work. Once your calories are equated, and if your protein is equated, if your protein is 200 grams and your calories are 2000, then what you do with carbs and fats is of very little academic relevance, really. So it really makes no difference whether you're doing a keto, you're doing paleo, you're doing high carb, low carb, zero carb. It really is it doesn't matter much at all, if at all. So in terms of the actionable plan, I would say pick a diet that you are most likely to stick with, right? Keep your protein high, even if you're female, 1.5 grams to 2 grams per kilo of your body weight. So if you're 60, 65 kilos, maybe 130 to 150 grams of protein a day. Have wide variety of protein. If you're non-vegetarian, it's going to be traditionally easier for you to lose weight, because non-vegetarian foods are, the amino acid profile is a lot better. The satiety content is usually a lot higher. So it makes a lot of difference. So, and when it comes to training, make sure you train like an actual bodybuilder, very intense, high intensity weight training. Do your cardio as well, and just have a sustainable plan. Yeah. So just a sustainable plan. That's my advice would be.
Thank you so much. That was really valuable information.
No
Yes.
So that's it.
Yeah. So just last question, Bhai.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
waiting yet. Anyway.
Yeah. So when we will see, more content, some new content. I've not attended this workshop today, but I'm sure you might. You already given.
We're bringing a new content workshop on 18th of April in Mumbai. We're doing a practical workshop with Rohit Shetty and Manoj Sarangapani. That's going to be. It's going to blow. It's going to be next level. That workshop. If you want to learn about bodybuilding hypertrophy, that's the workshop that you've got to attend. I'm very excited about it.
I'm on for it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to bring some because what's happened is a lot of people train hard, but they're not stimulating, they're not training for hypertrophy.
Right.
Yes, you're training very hard, nobody's denying that, but you're not training in the optimal way. So it's like we're going to bridge the gap between hard training and optimal training. So 18th of April, Mumbai.
So stay tuned. I'm on Insta because he will be updating address and everything.
We'll be releasing that soon.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, so just make sure you book your seats before it's full packed because I'm sure that will be
for that we're going to sort of limit it to 20 to 25 people because being a practical, we need a gym floor, so it's going to be very limited. So you have to be quick.
So that was, now I can say that was Harry Sandhu himself, the legend.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, legend himself.
Thank you, superstar. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much and pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. Okay, Ji. Thank you.